Yo, 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 what up, 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 what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, good people, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy, thankful, thriving, therapeutic Thursday, back again with another episode of SR Daily, episode 427, getting close to wrapping up another week 86. This is week 86 of SR Daily, man, wrapping up tomorrow. It is Thursday. We're here again with another Thursday. You guys know I love Thursday. Thursday is my favorite day of the week. It is the day that, for the most part, we are in community, man. I'm in Queensbridge. I'm serving my neighborhood, my people, whether it's food, juice, grief support, right? We've done art stuff on Thursdays, man. I really love Thursdays. I'm really grateful to be alive, to see another Thursday. Right, thankful, thriving, and therapeutics. The day we give thanks. Every day is a day we give thanks. It's a day that we thrive because we believe that we thrive when we are in community. We believe that we thrive when we serve. We believe that we thrive when we heal. And it's Therapeutic Thursday, right? Community is healing. Just being in community can be healing. But then with the grief support group, being able to sit in a circle and talk and chat, that in itself is therapeutic. That in itself is healing. Another Thursday, man. Still here, still thriving, still grinding, still pushing. Not even really grinding, man. We're just aligning, right? We're just aligning, right? We don't like to burn ourselves out. We strive not to burn ourselves out. We strive for longevity. We strive to preserve ourselves for a long time, to be at optimal health, to have maximum energy, morning, noon, night, right? And so we know that grind, the definition is to burn out, is to wear down. And we're not grounding. We are aligning, we are building, we are creating, and I'm grateful to still be on this side of the living. Mona Love, what's up, baby girl? Happy, thankful, therapeutic, and thriving Thursday. That is the educator, that is the teacher, that is the sister who goes by the alphabet, all right? Thankful, therapeutic, and thriving. You gotta love it, right? Shout out, yo, Eddie Kruger, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? It is almost your birthday, Playboy. Almost your birthday. Let's go. Ha ha. Yo, it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. Yesterday was rainy. Still a beautiful day yesterday. We came out of the slump, right? I was able to come out of the slump I've been in for a few days yesterday. Proud of myself, right? Not falling into the bullshit, not responding with the energy of negativity, right? But just holding it all in, man, transmuting it, transforming it, and then transferring it out through another outlet, right? Through speaking, through like just crying and emotions. And so, yeah, today we feel stronger, closer to more time with my babies, closer to just more greatness, right? More greatness, more love, more joy, more success, more happiness, more bliss, more reasons to be thankful, more reasons to continue to fall in love with life. And we're going to hit the share button, guys, before we get started. We're going to hit the share button here on Instagram. Please do share this content, share this live with 5 to 10 of your friends who may be interested in tuning in. Hit that share button, hit that share button. Don't keep the good content to yourself. Please don't keep the good content to yourself. Spread the love, spread the love, spread the love. Let a person know that you tuned in to SR Daily soon. I was about to say the sugar ratio. That means it's coming soon. I like to just follow alignment. I don't like to force anything. As bad as I want to launch the sugar ratio, as bad as I wanted to launch it, right? Clearly, it's a lot happening in my life, and there's only a certain amount of time in the day. All right. You can't do everything every day, but some stuff could be scheduled. And so I'm getting closer and closer, man. I'm getting closer and closer. That's my baby, right? That was the first show that I created, right? The Sugar Ray Show. That we started that back in 2010. 2009, we started the Sugar Ray Show when it was on Blog Talk Radio, right? So that's a show that's 15 years in development, right? That's a 15-year journey. We go back with the Sugar Ray Show. All right. We got episodes, archived. You can Google the Sugar Ray Show, right? Blog Talk Radio. You can find old interviews, old episodes. And then we did that was just audio, right? Blog Talk Radio. But then in 2023 summer, June and July, we did like 30, 40 virtual interviews, right, via my StreamYard account, visual video interviews with folks. That was super dope. And we haven't done none since, right? But we're getting closer and closer to coming back. I was supposed to have a producer come on, but that hasn't happened. And so, it's so good. It falls back when the persons who dream of this. And sometimes it's just you and your dream. And sometimes you got to start with what you got, where you at, all right, and build. And so that's what we are leaning towards. Again, I know for a fact that the Sugar Ray Show is a vehicle that can carry us as a human family, as a society, really, really freaking far. I know that in my heart. No one can tell me different. I know I give great interviews. I know I have an incredible network. I know that through my network, I have an even more extensive second and third party network through the people I know and the people that they know and so forth and so on. And we can really build a global talk show that inspires, empowers, educates, informs, enlightens, right? And all of the good things, man. And so we're getting closer to that. Yo, Chef Blue Cheese, what's going on, Big Queens? My brother, what's the deal? Peace and love, peace and love. We got the infamous Black Seed Watermelons in Queensbridge. Shout out to the God, Blue Cheese, and the Godfather, I Am 3, G.O.D. Part 3, infamous mob. We was outside with the brothers yesterday, pumping watermelon. That's a different type of grind. That's a righteous grind, we like to call it. That's a nourishing, refreshing. As the brother said, that's a revival grind, right? That's a revival hustle, and I'm grateful. But yo, listen, we're going to get the show started. Once again, guys, I am your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugary Marston. You are tuned into episode 427 of SR Daily. 427, that means we have 73 episodes from our next milestone, 500. I'm going to be honest with you, a few days ago, I was doubtful that we would even make it. I told you guys the energy that I had. It was very, very dark energy. It was very heavy energy. And I had some terrible thoughts, right? Not so much about myself or about my life, but just in general, regarding life and some situations, right? But grateful that we got the tools and we got the support, right? Mona Love, right? Super supportive, super like there to listen, to give some perspective, right? To just hug and touch and show love. And in that way, we was able to move through that energy. And now we can see clearly, again, episode 500 and 600 and 700 and beyond. But let's get the show started, guys. Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Thursday, August 7th, 2025. We're going to start with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment is a phrase of the day. Today's phrase is, we are all one. We are all one. That is the phrase of the day. And this is a saying that I have utterly disagreed with in the past. I have utterly disagreed with the fact that we are all one. And I still disagree with it, right? I still disagree with that. We are not all one, right? Like we are all created equally. No, we are all not all created equal. We're all created equally. Same process, right? For the most part, same ingredients, same elements, right? But we're created very different from each other, right? Like very, very different. Even twins who are identical are still very different from each other. And it's okay to acknowledge those differences. And so although I still disagree to a degree now, right? I still disagree to a degree, but I also agree with it as well. And I think both can be true. I think we should make space for our differences, whether that be our differences in politics or religion, our difference in skin color, skin tone, our difference in education, our difference in diet and lifestyle. We should celebrate those. We should acknowledge those differences. It's okay to be different. One of the beauties in nature, one of the beauties in gardening and agriculture is the diversity in the garden, right? That is one of the beauties. And if you know about agriculture, you know that certain plants feed each other, right? Put certain plants together that are very different, but this plant takes this out the soil and puts this back in the soil, and this plant then needs this from the soil and takes it and uses it and then puts it out, right? Like cooperative economics or collective working responsibility is more like it, right? Collective working responsibility. So diversity in a garden is one of the beauties. So diversity in life, right? How different we are. It makes us that much more special. If we were all the same, you would get bored and right? I think recognizing and celebrating our differences is indeed a beautiful thing. However, I also think that all the things that make us different, that make us unique, that separates us from others, if viewed from space with a cosmic perspective, becomes freaking obsolete. All of the things that we say are different, our different politics, our different religions, our different cultures, our different languages, our different skin tones, our different races and ethnic groups, and all of that stuff, as beautiful as it can be, equally challenging, right? In this world at this time, from space, right? Shit means nothing. Zilch, nada, right? Boss is trash. So like, take it with a grain of salt, as they say, right? Take it with a grain of salt. Take your uniqueness, take your specialness, right? Embrace it, feel it as a human, right? But don't think that you're more special than the next person. Don't think that you're more valuable than the next person. The only way to quantify that or to even try to measure that is energy output, right? And so energy output, that's what can make somebody quote unquote perceivably more valuable if you're adding more value intentionally to space, right? To the world as a whole, feeding people, clothing people, providing housing for people, right? Mentoring young people, right? Helping seniors, right? Whatever it is, expressing your greatest passion, even if it's alone through your art, through dance or singing or whatever the case may be, right? But yeah, those things, those differences, they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. We are humans. We are humans. We are occupying space on the planet Earth, which is also in space, right? We say we want to go to space. We forget that we're in space, right? We are part of space. Like, perspective is freaking key, right? We are not alone in this universe, right? We are not the only living entities, not even on this planet, right? We're not even the only living entities on this planet. And it said 99% of species that have ever existed are already extinct. So as great as we are, as many people as there are, right, and as many inhabitants there are on the planet Earth right now, with all of the insects, with all of the animals, with all of the plant life, still, it said 99% of species that have ever existed are already extinct. So we are really but specks of dust in the universe, literally. So tell us why you mad, right? The mad rapper, tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son. Come on, God body, tell him why you mad. Why do you want to kill your neighbor? Why do you want to kill your freaking neighbor? Why? Think of really why. What is the legit reason that you want to jeopardize your own freedom, your own karma, right? Your own livelihood and that of your family? Why? We fight and we kill over limited resources on Earth, right? When in fact, if viewed from space, inclusive of space, there is access to an unlimited supply of resources, those known and potentially unknown. Known and potentially unknown. You got so much, right? So much. Yo, Black Chalklines, what's going on? Peter Nicholas, what's going on? Jaleel, what's going on? What's going on? Rashida Wallace, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hots Pal, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Let's move right along though to our second segment of the day. Remember, the first one is phrase of the day. We are all one. I disagree and agree at the same time. It's a beautiful thing to celebrate differences and to recognize our unity. Second segment of the day, need to know news of the day. Listen, guys, today is the final day to vote for us in this round of America's Favorite Couple. Today's the final day. 2 times the vote today. Each one vote counts as 2. Each one vote counts as 2 votes today. Today is the final day in this round. We are currently 4th place in the voting for America's Favorite Couple, and we need to finish number 1. First place by 7 p.m. by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, right? It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. We need to be in first place to move on to the next round, which is the quarterfinals. And so we need every single person who sees this video. If you can hear my voice right now, if you're on Instagram, when this live is over, please click the link in my bio and vote for us. Myself and Kimona vote for us to be named America's Favorite Couple, right? Cost you nothing. It's a free vote. Cost you a few seconds of your time. You do got to have a Facebook. They do verify through your vote through your Facebook account. That's it. But it helps us move on. Again, this is something that, we found a little over a month ago now. It's been, a couple of weeks now, a couple of rounds from top 20 to top 15 to top 10 to top 5. And now it's the top 1 per group, right? I don't know how many groups there are, but first place in each group moves on to the quarterfinals and then compete against each other. And yeah, man, right? We got a chance to win $20K in the spread in Variety magazine. So tell a friend, man, if you love me, if you support me, if you support love, if you support Black love, if you support, right? Right? All the different things, right? After divorce, right? Like after failed marriage, right? All of the different things. If you support that, right? Redemption, retribution, right? Like happiness, joy, family, then go click that button and vote for us, man. Click that button and vote for us. Tell a friend and tell a friend. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, is on my Facebook page. I will post it again today and I will pin it for the rest of the day on my Facebook page. If you're on YouTube, it is on the last video post of us talking in the streets to people. It's in that description. Right, hit the link and vote for us, man. Right, let's go get it, man. The video is up of us talking to folks the other day about love, relationships, and intimacy. We're over 1,000 views already. We posted yesterday. We're over 1,000 views talking to folks in the city, man. I think we had an incredible time I think the people that we spoke to had a great time. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of smiles. You could tell that they were enjoying answering the questions about their favorite couples, about top 3 qualities in the partner, right? The this or that lightning round, right? Wake up sex or late night loving, right? Spontaneous road trip or luxury vacation, catch up in the fridge or in your cabinet, right? All of those things, man. Queens of Brooklyn, right? We had a Queens of Brooklyn showdown, right? And Mona was all excited, like, yeah, Brooklyn. It's like, it's okay. It's all good. Brooklyn is fake lit, right? It's fake lit. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. But that's our news of the day, guys. Let's finish strong, please. Again, we got until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening to cast your vote. It is a free vote. It costs you $0 to vote for us. America's favorite couple, chance at 20K, spread in Variety magazine, and to put this super handsome face in her super beautiful face as many places as possible. And to inspire love. That's all we want to do, is about our story, about our journey, inspire people, encourage people to continue to love self first, right? Work on self first. I think that's how we both were able to connect. We were both working on self, right? We had some stuff that we know we wanted to get better at in our own selves and working on that individually. And then we connected, and then over time, and as things happened and as things faded, as the picture cleared, and boom, here we are, right? We're going to move right along, though, folks. Again, hit that button, that link in my Instagram bio, on my Facebook page, and in the YouTube description. And vote for us by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Let's move right along, though, family, to our third segment of the day. Our third segment, Sefu Sankofa, what's going on, my brother? Peace and love. Third segment of the day, always our tip of the day. Today's tip is very, very freaking simple. Think for yourself. Please, 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 please think for your mother effing self. Yes, you are part of a group. You're a part of many groups, actually. You're part of many groups. Family, right? Gender, right? Age group, right? Religious group, racial group, cultural group, artistic group, right? Financial group, right? Freaking geographic location group, where you live, right? Like, so many groups that you are part of. You can break it down on so many levels, from, right, me, mad groups, right? Dad, right? Previous marriage, divorced dad, right? Dad who lost a parent, right? Like, formerly incarcerated, right? So many nuances, so many groups. But groupthink isn't healthy for individuals, nor is it healthy for the group long term, at least not in a quote unquote healthy way. Not for growth, not for progress, right? Groupthink stunts progress in most cases, right? It may seem like progress because things are quote unquote moving, but we know that all motion ain't forward motion. We know that all motion is not forward motion. There's motion when you go backwards. There's motion when you retreat. And a lot of times groupthink is that, right? It's stagnant and is backwards energy. But seriously though, right? Many problems, I believe, in my humble opinion and in my perspective, I believe that many problems exist in the world, and they persist longer than maybe they should. In large part, simply because people refuse to think for themselves. People refuse to have their own thought, right? People are literally programmed, right? We are programmed. Understand that. We are programmed. All of us to a degree, right? You have to, as they say, unlearn and relearn, right? We all learn things. We come into this world as sponges, and we soak up from our parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, siblings, as we go to school, classmates, teachers, people in the streets, right? Doctors, dentists, right? TV, right? Radio, advertisements all over the place. We are constantly being programmed. Most people can't think for themselves about anything, about their own life, about where they should live, about clothes they should wear. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've been there. There was a great time in my youth where I wore whatever I wanted. And then there was a time when I may like something, but I would not buy it if my friends didn't buy it or like it, right? And that was a short time, again, because I've 100%, again, for the great majority of my life, always been an independent thinker and doing whatever I want to do, regardless of what other people are doing. But there was a short time where I would see something and I would like it, And it's not even that I wouldn't buy it unless my friends bought it, because I had different things. But I would think about some things like, what would my friends say? What would people in the street say? What would the streets say? Right? And you hear it subtly, yo, the streets gonna go crazy over these. People buy sneakers, grown men buy sneakers based on how crazy the streets will go, based on the shorties that would like it, right? Based on the dudes that would respect it and want to talk to you about whatever it is that you bought. People buy cars based on that. People buy their clothing based on that. People buy houses based on that. Other people's perspective, other people's thought, right? We don't think for ourselves. We don't think for ourselves. We don't think for ourselves. We have a group clique loyalty that's admirable in part, yes, but it's mostly dangerous. And in a world where nearly every aspect of society tells you what to think as opposed to how to think, right? In a world where nearly every aspect of society tells you what to think as opposed to how to think, being a free thinker is indeed a radical act of revolution. Being a free thinker is indeed a radical act of revolution. And you freaking know what? That's okay. It's okay to be radical. It's okay to revolt against what's common, against what's standard, against what's known, right? What's widely accepted. It's okay to be the black sheep. It's okay to go against the grain. It's okay to think for your freaking self and act based on your thoughts. Feel based on your own independent thoughts. You don't got to feel everything that somebody else's feel. Two things can happen. One thing can happen and we can have two different feelings and thoughts about it. And that's okay. It's okay. And so if it's okay for you, it's okay for others, right? And so again, going back to the cosmic perspective, like grand scheme of things, that little difference in perspective, right? Grand scheme doesn't matter. Human scale absolutely matters. Should people have access to food? Yes. Some people think no. That's their right to think no, and it's my responsibility to ensure that I enact as much as possible my will and my thoughts, right? Now, this is where it gets, because some people take that to mean, oh, it's okay to then kill. No, it's not. It's not okay to fight in war based on different perspectives. Some will say, well, it depends on what the difference of perspective is. Should people have access to food? Should people have clean water, right? Should housing be a human right? Should empty land be used for housing? Right? And things that a community, specifically in that area where the empty land is, needs. Some say abso-freaking-lutely. Some say no. That may be a cause to be like, whoa, so what are you saying? Like, but that's the last resort. We got to be able to talk. We got to come and we got to delegate, right? And we got to debate and we got to have some type of diplomacy until we can't. And then such is life. Right. But we're gonna move right along to our fourth and final segment of the day. Fourth segment before we get out of here, guys. Our build of the day, as always. Today we're building on challenging your own perspectives. Challenge your own perspectives. Think about your thoughts. Think about your perspectives, right? Think about why you think, why you feel the way you do about certain things. Literally think about that. Question your own perspectives, question your own thoughts, and question those thoughts on top of those thoughts. Why? But why? Why is it never in the question? Shout out to Brother Razor. Started Jesus, G''S. The motto is that only we can save us, we G's, and only we can save us. Ain't nobody coming out the sky, ain't nobody coming from left field, ain't nobody coming from the freaking bottom to save us. We got to save us. Can you pass me my book over there, sweetheart, please? Cosmic Perspectives. All right. But yeah, right, like challenge your own perspectives, man. Many of us hold beliefs and thoughts about things and people that are rooted in nothing really at all, right? We form thoughts and opinions about people based on one thing we quote unquote know, or rather think we know about them, whether through something we've read or something we heard, something we read from any media source, right? A newspaper, book, right? Something we heard from news or from a gossiper, right? A lot of people gossip and spread false information all the time about people and things, right? And sometimes it's not, maybe not be false information, but they may speak about a fact and then attribute a personality trait or a perspective to that fact, right? Which then informs your perspective of the person. But your perspective is not formed solely by the fact, it's formed by their perspective, right? Influence. That's why it's important to be in control of your own mind and your own thoughts, right? Again, often communicated through a third-party source. Rarely do we get to know people who are different from us, or rather people who appear to be different from us. One of my favorite things about humans, one of my favorite things about us are our contradictions. It's one of my favorite things, truly. Because I like to say, people, yo, Sugar Ray, you contradicting yourself. I mean, life is a contradiction, right? They say the sun and the moon can exist at the same time, but we saw it just yesterday, day before yesterday, a few days ago, right? The sun was there, the moon was there, same time. It happens, right? Life is okay. Hot and cold come together, contradictory, but they make warm, right? It's very simple. Very simple, right? People say don't judge a book by its cover. And then most people who say that literally judge lots of books by their covers. It's fascinating, baffling, really. They say literally it's groups of people who preach don't judge a book by its cover. But then based on how you dress, based on the language you speak, based on how you look physically, how you look, right? People judge you. Based on how much money you make, people judge you. Based on a certain thing that is on the outside of you, right? That people can see or know just from an outside view, right? You can know how much somebody makes, but if you know their job, how much their job paying, okay, you know how much they make. And you judge them based on that. You judge them based on their weight. We judge them based on everything. By the cover, right? The hypocrisy. Just because you heard a person say they think public transportation should be free, or just because you heard somebody say that there are only two genders in the world, doesn't mean you know all there is to know about that person, or that they are much different than you. They may have a different perspective on something, right? They may have one thing or two things or a few things maybe that you hold dear that are different. But then there's some other things maybe based on education or maybe based on diet that's exactly the same. Based on family and divorce or marriage or childbearing, right? That is exactly the same. But you don't know that if you judge a book by its cover and write a person off for one thing that you heard or that you read, that you didn't speak to the person to gather, right? People don't talk to people who they disagree with. Why? Because most people are too wrapped up in their freaking emotions. They hold their ideas about life and society. It should be close because it impacts you, but they hold it too close. And they're rigid. They're not flexible. You got to be flexible. You got to be human, right? One of the ladies, Mona, in the interviews we did on the streets said about with partner, you got to be bendable. You got to be flexible. You got to be able to bend. If you don't bend, you break, right? In life, you got to be able to. You have your perspective. You have what you've been conditioned to perceive, believe, and think, right? Feel about whatever. But then open-mindedness is key. This is why they say Taoism is only for those open-minded and open hearts. The only way you can attain the Tao. It's the only way you can attain true harmony with self, right? Arm, leg, arm, head, right? Our self, Lord, and master. It's the only way to achieve godhood. That's it, right? But yeah, cosmic perspective can help you here. But let's read. I want to read. I asked her to bring me this book, so I want to read something in this book, pages 77, right? 76 and 77. This is Starry Messenger, right, by Neil deGrasse Tyson, a cosmic perspectives on civilization. Powerful book. It is absolutely shifting so much inside of me, right? Hey, yo, pause. It's changing my mind in such a crazy way, right? But I want to read. I said 77 and 70. I think it's page 76 and 77. Yes, trope, right? So this is on conflict and resolution, right? This is the chapter on conflict resolution. Page 76 is chapter 4 and page 77, right? Trope 3. Republicans are racist, sexist, anti-immigrant, homophobes. Democrats embrace all peoples. This is the trope, right? This label-latent trope is how Democrats see Republicans relative to themselves. In the past, the opposite prevailed. Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president, a party birthed in part to abolish slavery in America. Through Reconstruction and beyond, Republicans led congressional movements to finance and support the rise of historically Black colleges and universities, especially via the Second Morrill Act of 1890, at a time when private elite colleges denied admission to all people of color. A summary webpage on the history of HBCUs by the Smithsonian Institution makes no mention of Republicans in securing these opportunities during post-Civil War America. Maybe they are trying to be nonpartisan. By doing so, they are hiding the blunt and extraordinary fact that for 100 years, the most racist political party was the Democrats. They oversaw the Jim Crow South and turned a blind eye to the thousands of lynchings that occurred there. The governors, the mayors, the police chiefs, the angry chanting mobs across the region, as seen in the ugliest footage of the civil rights movement, were all Democrats. Today, these tropes have all but switched, with the 180-degree realignment of who's inclusive and who's not, except it's not entirely 180 degrees. Since 1990, the first two Black secretaries of state, Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice, were appointed by Republican presidents. The second ever Black Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, was also appointed by a Republican president. Yet none of the four appointed by Democratic presidents, Clinton and Obama, were Black. President Clinton and Obama did not appoint anybody black to those positions, right? If you don't happen to like their politics, then confess you instead sought a high-ranking black person who aligns with your political party's views and not simply a high-ranking black person. Add to this the landmark 2014 Pennsylvania case Whitewood versus Wolf, which declared the state's ban on same-sex marriage to be unconstitutional. Who presided over the case? Our old friend Bush. Our old friend Bush appointed John E. Jones III. Continuing this round robin, in April 2022, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, give me goosebumps, like powerful name, and she's freaking first black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. I remember that, with 50 out of 50 Democratic senators voting for her and 47 out of 50 Republican senators voting against her. All this leaves me wondering, what does it mean to be aligned with the political party at all? Do you do your thinking for you? No. Do they do your thinking for you? Do they define your attitudes towards issues that confront the country? If so, then you are a pawn of those in power. And that's most human beings. Most human beings allow their political party to think for them. Most human beings do not think for themselves, right? A sentiment that resonates with the favorite lyric from Sir Joseph Porter's song, the Admiral of the Queen's Navy, in Gilbert and Sullivan's comedic light opera, HMS Pinafore. I always voted at my party's call, and I never thought of thinking for myself at all. So yeah, I wanted to read that, guys. But that's going to take us to the end of the show. Again, this book is absolutely incredible. Starry Messenger, Cosmic Perspectives on Civilization, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You should absolutely get this book. Yeah, guys, that's the show. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this book specifically is changing my life, right? It's literally changing me. It's transforming me. It's elevating my mindset, really. It's like shifting goals for me. And I think it could do the same for you. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you here, same place, same time tomorrow, Friday, as we close out the week with episode 428. Same place, same time, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live. Remember, it's not getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up! The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. I love you guys. Peace.